So Zapier is a tool I can use to automate some online tasks that I do. I can find it here at Zapier.com. And what it basically does is, let's say I'm using 2 or more online tools. It allows me to connect those tools, automate some processes I use with those tools, and send data back and forth to make my life a bit easier. That sounds pretty abstract, so let's take a really concrete example. Here it says, when I get a new email from Gmail, I can copy the attachment from Gmail to Dropbox, and then get an alert in Slack for that file. So that's one example. We're going to create a different example here. I'm first going to log into Zapier, and there I can see all the types of tools I can use with Zapier, all the online tools. What we're going to do is connect Zapier to create a new Zap every time I create a new email every time I get a notification there's going to be rain in San Diego. So first thing I'm going to do is I want to use weather as my trigger. So I search for weather, and there's weather by Zapier. And there's already a trigger set up for will it rain today? So Zapier check the forecast and will know whether it's going to rain today. So great, I'm going to continue with that. I need to tell it where I care about rain. I care about San Diego, so I need the latitude and longitude for San Diego. I'm going to do a quick Google search and find the latitude and longitude for San Diego. 32.7157 is latitude. I'm just going to copy that and paste that over in Zapier, and get the longitude and copy that and put it over in Zapier. And my units will be Fahrenheit. Great. So now I've got the weather, and I need to tell it what I want to do. First, it's going to check and make sure it can actually pull weather information for that latitude and longitude. So it's got the latitude and longitude, and I'm just going to have it check and make sure it can pull data for that weather, for that location. Great. Zapier is able to find weather forecast for that coordinate. I'm going to continue. And now I have to figure out what I want to do when it decides there's going to be rain for that coordinate. I want to get an email notification of that rain event. So I'm going to select email here, and my option is to send an outbound email. Exactly what I want, so I continue. Here I'm going to set all the properties of the email I want to receive. So who am I going to send it to? I'm going to send it to my law firm address. The subject, I'm going to say, it's going to rain today. It's rare enough in San Diego that we actually need to get email alerts for that. The body of the email, I don't really need a body, but let me just give myself some advice. Be careful, and bring an umbrella. Also in the email, I could include attachments. I don't really need any of that. The from name, let's put, it's coming from Zapier, so I remember how I got this email. Zapier, Zap. And that's really all the properties I need to set up for the emails I get. So I'm going to continue. Now I can review all the settings I set up for that Zap. And now Zapier is going to send a test email to that email account just to make sure it's able to do that correctly. So I'll click the button to have it test. And that was successful. Now in a minute, I should get an alert from Outlook saying I got an email from Zapier. And there it is. I got my Zapier email notification in Outlook, and so I know everything's working correctly. So I'll finish setting up the Zap, and the final thing I need to do is give this a name. So for this task, I'm going to say the name of this task is, let's send email if rain. And I'm going to make sure that I turn that on. And now you'll see that every 15 minutes, Zapier will check the forecast, and if I'm supposed to get rain in San Diego, I'll get an email notification in Outlook. And I can return to my dashboard, and I can see that of my 4 Zaps I got set up, 1 is for sending email with rain, and it's turned on. And that's a quick example of how you can use Zapier to automate an email task.